This is very subtle, but it is as real as it is subtle. But there seems to be a disconnect between, discipleship in the Gospels versus discipleship in the epistles. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is over time, as pastors and leaders become doctrinally astute, we can get really good in terms of how we dismiss ourselves from certain things or give ourselves an out. So what that looks like is somehow discipleship in the Gospels will cost you everything, but discipleship under Paul in the epistles is not as expensive. That's just I've kind of pieced that together through a lot of different discussions. The problem with that is that mindset or that approach, it falls apart in Romans 12:1.
Yeah.
Because if I read that correctly, we're to be living sacrifices.
Right.
I don't know how you can be a living sacrifice and that costs you anything less than your life.
Yeah.
Which is the message of discipleship in the gospel. So I don't see I can't justify that it's cheaper in the epistles than the Gospels.
Well, I look at the example of Timothy as a young man, what he gave up to just follow Paul and to be his disciple. And I mean, one of the very first acts of his discipleship is his foreskin.
Right.
And that was for the sake of the mission. And that was for the sake of following a master in a master-apprentice relationship in order to learn what it means to be a minister of the gospel. And so you can't look at Paul's ministry to men like Timothy or Titus or Apollos or Aquila and Priscilla, the way that they function in ministry, and say that that was somehow cheap.
Right.
It was not.
Well, something you and I have discussed, and I think it's very much on point with this is, I mean, can you imagine what was going through, Timothy's mother, what was going through her mind?
Oh my gosh.
When her son now is going with this guy, and wait a minute, what just happened not that long ago? Mm-hmm. This is the same guy who was stoned to the point I thought he was dead, and now my son's going to go with him? I mean, she would have had to have done the math that would have said, you know what, I may never see him again.
Right.
That's discipleship.
That's costly discipleship.
Yes, it is.